Hey guys, it's MiracleMAX here. Are you attracted to magnets? Today I'm joined by Captain Palm here, and we together are mad about magnets. So, tell me Captain Palm, what is a magnet?
A magnet is an object or substance that creates an invisible magnetic field which can be used to attract or repel iron-based substances or other magnets.
That's interesting. So that's a permanent magnet, isn't it?
Yes.
Cool. Let's have a look at some.
Alright.
So permanent magnets come in different strengths and designs. I guess you'd start at the bottom of the ladder with the old fridge magnet.
These are three examples of magnets from speakers. In a speaker, a magnet would have a coil wrapped around it, which helps to create a magnetic field, which in turn makes sound. Well, next up, we've got an example of a working speaker.
Here's an example of neodymium. Oh, come on, say it fast 3 times. I've taken ages to practice that word, neodymium. I used to call it no, never mind. Anyway, these are rare earth magnets, extremely strong. They're categorized by the factor of N. Generally speaking, if you want a decent strength one, you go N35 or N50 are the better ones. Just to show you how strong they are, you can. I've got them a long distance apart, as you can see, and see all the shatter. Whoops. See all the shatter marks on them, because every time they get together they're very brittle and they will shatter. So as you can see, they come in different shapes and sizes, and you can see the influence, how close they are, how strong they are, sorry, because it really doesn't take much to collect them together. Very, very strong magnets, used a lot, used more and more nowadays, but they're awesome magnets. I love them.
Another use for magnets is the containing of plasma. Plasma is the fourth state of matter that consists of positively charged protons and ions, which in turn create their own magnetic field. When put with another magnetic field, like an electromagnet or an permanent magnet, it can contain plasma in a stable stream, which eventually and hopefully could be used as an alternative power source. No. Okay, now what if you don't want your magnets to magnetize all the time? Is there any way to turn them on and off? Let's find out.
Other fields where the use of magnetism is being used is in the automotive field and other areas. This particular method that is being used here is called magnet rheological fluid. What happens is fluid, or oil in this particular case, has iron filings in it, and it uses a magnet to turn it on the solidness of the substance. So sometimes it can be very, very oily, as you can see in the base there, going backwards and forwards. Other times it can be very, very solid because of the use of a magnetic field, and that will stay until that magnetic field is being removed. Check it out, I find it really, really cool. See it hanging from the top there? So unless that magnet is removed, those iron filings will stay in a solid state. Once you remove it, it goes back to oil again. Pretty cool, huh?
But MiracleMAX, as cool as it is, what can it be used for?
Oh, okay, well that's a good question. Seriously looks cool, but the thing being is that it's used in shock absorbers to change the comfort of the ride for the passengers. So your shockers can be hard in this case when the substance goes solid, or the ride can be comfortable or soft because it goes back to that oily state. Awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what is an electromagnet? Well, in its most basic form it needs 3 things. A power supply, a soft iron core, as you can see here, our screwdriver is our example, and some wire. How does that work, MiracleMAX, you may ask yourself? Well, the first thing you do to prove that this is not magnetised is that we test it with the screw there. It's not being magnetised, is it? Second thing we need to do is wind the wire around our iron core. In this case I've used the screwdriver, as you can see. Wind it down, 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 going further and further and further. Sorry, waiting music. Okay, we're pretty much done now. And what we do now is we charge up, or we short out that wire onto a battery or a power source. Like that. Don't mind the smoke, folks. Oh, hot, hot, hot. Okay, in theory now that should be magnetised. Just as simple as that. That's an electromagnet, but the problem being is this is now a permanent magnet. Is there any other way that we can make an electromagnet that is more controllable? One that we can switch off and on?
Right, so what other uses are there for electromagnets?
Okay, well, this particular item is what's called a rotor, and it's out of an alternator in a vehicle. How that works is electricity is passed through these wires, well not these particular wires but brushes here, and it turns this into an electromagnet, which in turn supplies, long story short, supplies the voltage needs for the vehicle. But just to show you how powerful this thing is, I have a power source. Remember the three things we need. We need a power source, we need some wire, and we need a soft iron core, which is in part here. But just to show you how strong this magnet is, am I still in frame?
Yeah. Okay,
we'll just connect these two up here. You can put both on if you like, that'd be great. Look at that. Look at the amount of weight that it's holding. Now that's an electromagnet. What happens if we disconnect the power at this point? We damage our battery, that's what happens. You silly little man. Let's try again. Alright, so that's an electromagnet. And what happens if we disconnect the power at this point? So you can see we can switch this thing off and on, and that's what the vehicle does on a regular basis. It turns this rotor, or this electromagnet, off and on, therefore charging the battery at a regular rate and also supplying the needs as required by the vehicle. What other electromagnets are used in the automotive field? So one area that electromagnetism is used in the automotive field is a thing called a solenoid. Not just the automotive field, that's what I'm going to talk about. How does it work? Well, it goes back to the principle of electromagnetism. So what three things do we need for an electromagnet? We need our soft iron core, we need our coil of wire, and of course we need our
power source.
Excellent, thank you very much, Captain Palm. So what happens when we energise our coil of wire on our soft iron core? Have a look. How cool is that? So that's a solenoid. What it does is it moves something. Generally the coil stays central and the soft iron core is the thing that moves. Here's an example of something that I've prepared earlier.
So here we have a solenoid, which is for a door lock from a car. It works on the same principle as the homemade solenoid we just showed you. And here's a quick demonstration. There you go.
Solenoid done and dusted. Here's another use of solenoids in the automotive field. Without it, your car won't go. They're called fuel injectors, and they're just a solenoid. So once again, they've got a coil of wire in there, they've got a soft iron core, a thing called a pintle, and of course we need to apply power to it. They come in different varieties and shapes, but the process behind it all is a basic solenoid. So if we hook that up to positive and negative, we hear just the normal solenoid, okay? Here's an example how relay works. What do we need for an electromagnet? Well, we have a coil of wire, a soft iron core in this case, and a relay. The only thing that's added is a set of points. Let's turn on the power and see what happens. So you can see the only difference is it's an electromagnet with a set of points that are attached. We put the power on and it closes them, we release the power and it opens. Fairly simple really, it's just an electromagnetic switch. What's it look like in real life? Let's have a look. So just like anything else, there's a variety of shapes and sizes, designs, and also the amount of current that they will allow to go through them. A basic switch, what's it look like inside? Here's one I've prepared earlier. If we put power to it, the points close. The points are closed because of this electromagnetic field being created by this electromagnet. Remember? Coil of wire, soft iron core inside, and then all it has is those set of points attached. If we now release the points, or the power, we can see the points open. We close them, we open them. We close them, we open them. We close them, we open them, we fade to black.
Here we have a basic motor. We have 3 pairs of permanent magnets which create their own magnetic fields, a battery with 2 pins on it. When we put this coil of copper wire in here, it becomes an electromagnet. With the interaction of the magnetic fields, the permanent magnets repel the electromagnet, causing it to spin. We have an example of an upsized motor, well, electric motor. It works on the same principle as the one we just showed, but it shows you how magnets can be used in almost everything.
It's actually a heater fan out of a vehicle. You know, when you have either your heaters on or your air conditioner, this is the bad boy that circulates all the air to keep you either hot or cold.
Wow, magnets are used in everything.
Dude, how cool is that? Awesome!
Well, we know how electromagnets work and what they can do, but how strong can they get?
Yeah, it's a good point, you know. What do you think it depends on?
How much power you put into it.
Yeah, so power plus the amount of coils that goes around whatever you want to magnetise. An example of that is I recently worked at a place where they cut up trains with big shears, etc., and I had to repair an excavator that used a big magnet to pick up the scrap and put it in a different area. Here's a video of it. Also, you might have seen videos where car wrecking yards pick up cars to put them in crushers, etc. Those magnets are insane. Can you think of any other electromagnets that might be better than that?
Well, we've got electromagnets that lift up maglev trains. Propel them to speeds up of over 300 kilometres an hour.
Don't some of them do 603 kilometres an hour?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, what was that? The Japanese one?
The bullet train.
Yeah, that's it. So it's got a big low schnoz on it, hasn't it?
Looks like the bullet of Mario.
It could be. What do you think? Why does it have such a low schnoz?
To help it, to help the air flow over it to increase its speed.
Yeah, to cut down on air resistance, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So how do those work, do you know? 2
of the same magnetic poles repelling each other to help it hover off the ground.
So that one actually hovers off the track, doesn't it?
Yes.
Is there any other designs?
Oh, well, we have the hyper trains,
yeah,
which are maglev trains in a tunnel with turbojets in them.
Oh, okay, cool. Don't the Germans use a different method instead of repulsion? What do they use?
They attract. They use traction. They get 2 sides to attract to each other to the same target, which allows them to stay in the one position.
Yeah, so they turn the voltage off and on really, really rapidly, so much so that the train is actually able to hover. That's incredible. So the Japanese use the repulsion method and the Germans use the attraction method, both using electromagnets. It's pretty cool though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
What about natural magnets?
That's a great idea. What do you mean by a natural magnet?
So a magnetic field that's in nature, kind of like the Earth. The
Earth? Okay, so yeah, of course, we have magnetic north and magnetic south, don't we? How do we measure those?
With a compass.
With a compass, don't we?
Excellent. The front of the compass, well, north on a compass actually points to south because of the reversion of magnetic poles.
That's right. So the needle is actually getting attracted to north, magnetic north,
so
isn't it?
when your compass is pointing south, it's actually pointing north.
Correct. And I suppose you know that the Earth's magnetic field keeps changing, the position of it keeps changing all the time, and every year it continues to move. In fact, over time, the magnetic north and magnetic south have actually switched places. Did you know that?
I remember reading about that in my school book.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
But what does the Earth's magnetic field do?
Well, doesn't it have something to do with protecting the Earth from the solar flares and stuff like that from the sun?
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, that's right. That's pretty amazing. And, you know, I think that doesn't the Earth display it somehow? Doesn't it show that those magnetic fields are being, or the atmosphere is being protected by those magnetic fields against the solar flares?
With the auroras.
Yeah, that's right. So our northern one is called what?
The aurora borealis.
Excellent. What about down south?
The aurora australis.
Australialis, or something like that, isn't it? Yeah, one of those anyway. Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. And if you can see them, whether it's in video form or photo form, absolutely beautiful. But why are there different colours?
Because of the different gases that get ionised in the atmosphere from solar radiation.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? So if there's more nitrogen, for instance, we might end up with a different colour. If there's more oxygen, we might end up with a different colour again. That's fantastic, isn't it?
Did you know that the Earth's magnetic field is a cross between permanent magnets and electromagnets?
Okay, how does that work?
They use iron magnets that have been magnetised throughout the Earth. But the main magnet, the iron and nickel molten core, it gets moved around, creating its own electric field and a magnetic field.
That's true. Yeah, we've got this big ball of gas burning millions of miles away. No, just kidding. It's inside the Earth, isn't it? It's molten, and of course the Earth rotates. It's really, really important for the Earth to rotate. That actually helps or creates the Earth's magnetic field because of that molten iron or nickel you said in the centre there. Yeah. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So guys, are you attracted to magnets yet, or are you repelled by them? Either way, does it really matter? Attraction, repulsion, it's all part of magnetism, isn't it? Did you find this video interesting? All about permanent magnets and electromagnets, the beautiful Earth that we have, that we can live on, that has its own little magnetic field as well. And that helps protect us, doesn't it?
Next time you get a magnet, why not try and do an experiment with permanent magnets? Or next time you get a battery and some wire, why not try and make your own electromagnet?
If you enjoyed this video as much as we did making it, then it's a good thing. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and don't forget to comment down below. Until next time, this is MiracleMAX and
Captain Palm.
Don't forget, I'll put a link down to his channel as well, so you can have a look at his stuff. Until next time, we're signing off. Catch you later.
Bye.